Greetings, friends. It's Coleraine or Coleraine Tarot here on YouTube. My pronouns are they, them, and I am a tarot reader and artist. So today I'm going to be doing a type of reading that's new to me, new to my channel, but I've been practicing it somewhat, and I want to practice it with you as well. So this is a style of divination called bone casting. And I know that it is indigenous to a lot of African tribes, mainly, but it's also been used like in many different contexts throughout the world. Some people have been using it in a more modern context as like charm casting, but you know, reading signs has been around for like millennia. So what we're gonna do is use this bone casting set or charm casting set that I've put together. I'm going to lay it out on the cloth, and we're going to see, based on where things fall, how they interact with each other. There's going to be a message out of that. So if you are looking forward to this method of reading, then these are the talismans that I have for selecting the groups. We have group 1 with the Celestine, group 2 with the Amber, and group 3 with the Gold Sheen Obsidian Egg. So when you are ready, I will see you in the timestamp in the description. Greetings, group 1. So we're going to start with your reading, and I just want you to begin to take a couple deep breaths, connect and center and ground yourself where you are. Feel the way it feels to be in your skin, in your clothes, in your bones, with the breath, with the blood pumping through your body. Okay. I'm going to call on the guides of compassion, wisdom, truth, and alignment to watch over this reading and bless what happens in the outcome. So interesting. A lot of stuff is centered towards the middle, and I know it looks like I just poured it out there, which I did in some ways, but when I've done this before, there are things that often will like fly to the edges. So I see this portion of the mat as being, because it's within the hands, kind of like your grasp of your mind, body, and spirit in a conscious way. And I see these external places as being more subconscious, less in control. And then if we're looking at it directionally, the base down here is the root, the earthly realm, the earthly plane. And up here is going to be more of the cosmic realm, the cosmic plane, and also like the astral, where we dream, where we access these spiritual states of being and consciousness. So the first thing I'm seeing here is that the shell that I have that represents dogmas is beneath this sacred circle, and the one item that stayed within the sacred circle is this little pine cone, which I have representing intuition, representing descendants. So I don't know if there's something about a new family member or someone that has, like, is young, maybe you have children. There's something about them being in a protected or in a sacred circle of some kind. Yeah, something, and if this isn't a literal person, this can be something that you want to bring into the world, like a project or even a relationship of some kind, but something's being protected that is not quite fully formed. And I feel like you have an intuition about that, or as well, there's another message here about somebody's intuition being a protected thing or being something that has been drawn into a sacred circle. Yeah, there's something about origins coming through with that circle energy and things being created from that. This takes me to another seed that I have here, which is a peach pit, and this is down at the base. So this I have representing ancestry, and it feels like there's something about your ancestors helping to ground you. Maybe you're recognizing family patterns and cycles. With the dogma shell, I didn't get to explain too much about that, but the dogma shell too, being kind of tucked underneath the sacred circle, it's like something about you being able to incorporate dogmas, or maybe like more traditional prayers into whatever this protection is. I also am seeing that the iron nail is in the sacred circle but hidden or obscured by the sun shell. So there's something about your illuminated awareness of the protection. You're like consciously creating protection. And right next to this dogma shell is the stone that I have that represents the dark. And as I said that, I don't even know, like I subconsciously just grabbed this fly out of the air. So it's like you're very much being aware of how you're protecting your energy right now, whatever this may be, or protecting the energy of someone that you love. I'm being drawn here to the moon shell covering this key. So there's something that your intuition is trying to open up to you about opportunities, about the path forward, or finding more awareness of where you need to go. And this is somewhat being obscured by maybe fears, the dream state. What else is going on there with the moon? Fantasy and illusion is what I'm hearing. There may even be like compulsive behaviors that are obstructing opportunities with the key being covered by this. And on the other side of it, I'm noticing that the coin is out here directly next to this layering. So it's like maybe there's a financial opportunity that your shadow is obstructing from being able to allow you to plant the seed. Or actually, what they're showing me is that the darkness is maybe the key to illuminating this reflection that is needed in order to find this financial opportunity. And over here, the closest thing to the shell, or to the coin, is the shell, which has a lot of holes in it. I don't know if you can see that. There's like quite a few holes in it, and so I see this as like poking holes in a story, like deception, kind of finding a truth. So yeah, it's like being able to see through the BS, through the system. And there's like so many planes going over right now. I don't know what that's about, but hopefully the noise isn't too bothersome. Up here, next to that protection, there's this bee and this little white stone that I view as like forces of light. It can also be like the ego, so there may be some like vanity or pride that needs to be worked on. Or maybe as well, there's a dual message of like needing to build up one's confidence around being protected, or around going into the dark, being protected as you go into the more challenging aspects of the psyche, the more challenging aspects of the situation. Because for a lot of you, I'm feeling like this has to do with like a work situation, or like building up confidence to do something on your own, or go out for some kind of creative endeavor. On the other side over here, I haven't touched on this portion. This is still in the conscious, so that's why I think that this opportunity is maybe still subconscious, because there's like, it's out here in the subconscious area. Over here, we have the stick of the willpower, kind of rising up into the hand. So it's like Spirit is almost like handing you the staff and saying it's your choice to like present your power where you want it to go, or direct the power or your willpower where you'd like it to go. And I'm suddenly getting distracted when I'm talking about this energy. So it feels like maybe your willpower is being scattered right now, especially since it's kind of separated from this concentrated energy. I do think that there are angels that are watching over this interaction, and I'm noticing that there's a dog tooth like buried deep under there too. So it's like very loyal spirit guides are with you at this time, helping to guide and direct your actions. We have here this little spiral shell. Again, you're just definitely in a very creative mode. And this stone here is talking about like inherited wealth. And the turtle, you may have, I'm seeing like an elder, because even the turtle is pointing down to this, where I usually view this as like ancestors or elders. There may be somebody that can help bring you down to earth, that's older than you, that maybe has wisdom around this situation, that has created things before, that can help ignite this creative spark, and you can inherit maybe a sense of their like wisdom or their wealth in this situation. I want to pull some cards to go a little deeper. Okay. We have the ancestor of illusion. What was I talking about with illusions here? With the antelope on there too. It may be that you're having a difficult time parsing through like collective truths, or things that, like the conditionings of your family, of your country. It's like they're like bothersome illusions of power, illusions that other people want you to believe that they have power over you within. You have the shaman of courage here. Yes, this is about confidence. I think that's what I was saying over here with the bee and the white stone too. This is about like taking the time to have the courage to go forward in this endeavor, to move forward with what you know. What does group 1 know? Spirit of healing and the hunter of vision coming out together. You know, like you have a vision that you want to pursue for your life. You have like a calling that's been placed over your life. And I was just drawn to this stick, and then drawn to this stick that's like fashioned into the bow. I have a deck that, it's the Wildwood Tarot, where bows are the suit of fire. So it's something about passion, about goals, and re-envisioning something as well. It's not just about a vision, it's about seeing something differently and having a different approach as well. And for some of you, you're going to have to work through an institution in order to get to the outcome that you want. With the spirit of healing too, this is bringing healing to a lot of people and giving them a new option to choose. Okay, I want to see what the Fae spirits have to say about this. We have the spiny sister. Take pride in yourself. Yeah. Take pride in yourself and know that it's okay for you to go through this point of darkness, that you're guided, that you can pick up this sense of personal power, that even if you fail, even if you have a difficult time with this transition, with this new time period in your life, that it's not all for naught, and you can rest in the knowing that you have of essentially what you're being called forward to do. Anything else? Spirit for group 1. The spirit familiar. Seek loving connections and cherish friendships. And it's interesting because as I was saying that, I was looking at my dog who's like laying out in the sun, and he just looks very happy right now. And I feel like the people around you and the beings around you are going to make this journey worthwhile, no matter what the outcome, quote unquote, is supposed to be. I'm going to get one more card. The gnome of mushrooms and buttons. Seek silliness and joy. They are wise teachers. Yes, it's about finding joy in the journey at the moment. And that's why I think that the sun is covering up the protection. It's like, don't even worry about being protected. Don't even worry about hiding yourself. Allow yourself to shine. Allow yourself to express, to be naive, to be a little innocent in the situation, to overcome these illusions of what people are telling you should be caring about, or how things should be done. Let yourself step into this role of the shaman of courage by seeking silliness and joy, as they are wise teachers. That's all I'm seeing for you, Group 1. If you enjoyed your reading, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to see you and connect with you for a personal reading as well. So I have that linked at my website in the description box below. Otherwise, I just want to take this time to thank every force in the universe, every being in the universe that conspired for this beautiful message today. I want to thank you for being here, and I will see you in another reading, my friend. Bye. Greetings, Group 2. You selected this second amber piece. This is your bone casting. So bear with me as I'm new to this divination style. So I'm going to be trying my best to make sense of this. We shall see how this goes. So I just want to ask that the guides of wisdom, compassion, truth, and alignment please support us in this divination session. Help us to bring through messages of support, of truth, and help us to be guided. Okay. And I just want to invite you as well to take this moment to breathe a little deeper, to connect in with your body, connect with your heart, and ask your higher guidance for support or a message that will help you with either a specific situation in your life or a general message that you are needing to hear at this time. So we're going to see how everything fell. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to say is that this center point is where the conscious mind is, and that's why I always kind of start with the cast there. And again, there's a lot of stuff gathered here in the conscious awareness. The first thing I'm being drawn to is the angel, the little faith angel. When I move this, I can see that the faith angel is on top of this little hematite heart. So there's a lot of like love and spiritual wisdom that's being poured into your life at this time. I'm seeing here that the sacred circle is on top of the iron nail, which is, I always see as a sign of protection, kind of keeping away influences that would seek to control, or like essentially bend your will to their will. We have the dog tooth next to it as well, so this is like loyal protection. Commitment to boundaries. I feel like this is something about relationships, with the sacred circle surrounding this and bringing in a bit of the moon. It's like you've been doing a lot of personal reflection about relationship dynamics in your life, and maybe even keeping people close to you who are respecting your boundaries. We have the pine cone here, which I see as like descendants, things that we want to put forward, and intuition, kind of the realm of the unformed, the formless, the malleable, the perceivable, like a shapeshifter type of energy, the awakened awareness, piercing behind the veil, and it's on top of the coin. This is about wealth that we create and generate, and I feel like for you, this is about wealth in relationships, wealth in community. The peach pit and the safety pin are up at the top next to the amber, and the amber is, like a crystallized tree sap form. So it's like the kind of preserved wisdom of the healing nature of the trees. That's how I see the amber. And I feel like these in this square of awareness too is talking about a recent spiritual awakening. And I see the peach pit usually as an ancestor or an elder energy. So I feel like for you, this is like an awareness of maybe past lives, an awareness of your maybe like ancestral magic, things that you have access to from your family. They're wanting me to give an example. Like in my family, there's a lot of people who are like musical or musicians, and so the power of sound might be something like that I can work with based on my family line. So it's something like that, like being aware of like certain traits that you have from in your DNA, and being able to activate and awaken these concepts and this energy that's within your physical body. With the safety pin being the closest too, this is talking about like security and like being connected or being tied to those energies. You may have personal associations with peaches too, for some reason, is what this is reminding me of. And for some reason, as soon as I said peaches, I randomly was like snapped back to one of the Ice Age movies where they named the baby mammoth Peaches. So yeah, there's like an ancient energy about the way that you've been awakening, just like remembrances. As well, I'm being drawn to the fact that the turtle's on its side. Okay, I'm getting the message that because the angel's here, it almost looks like it pushed over the turtle. It's like there's been some guides that have been working with you for a long time that have been replaced by angelic guidance. So maybe your guidance has been coming through as more abstract. Maybe you've been feeling like you haven't been getting as clear of messages from your spirit guides recently, but this is to actually push you in your ability to interpret messages for yourself, is what they're saying, and to be able to carry this wisdom and this knowledge for yourself, because the head of the turtle is facing this small spiral shell. So this is about like new beginnings in your life, and inheriting these gifts that you've cultivated in past lives, or that your ancestors have cultivated, because I see this stone as a stone of inheritance. And you have the key reaching towards the sacred circle here with the bee, and they're pulling me back to the relationship aspects. I feel like your relationships, you're like recategorizing, reprocessing certain relationships and sending away anything that is from your shadow self, because we have here the stone that represents the shadow, as well as like the fan shell, which I see as like fear-based entities, and they're like facing out. So it's like you're casting them away through this connection to opportunity and new confidence, because the bee I see is like new connections that are positive, that uplift us, that help us see ourselves as a unit with others, like working together. And the bee actually says on the back of it, be beautiful, with Y-O-U in the middle. So it's about like being yourself, being authentic and genuine. And this is giving you, it's like your shadow's handing you this key, like giving you the opportunity to go deeper. Up here we have the So here's the moon shell, here's the sun shell, and it's cupped upright. So it's like your consciousness is trying to take in information. And I also see this card here as like being the structures in our lives. So you're trying to take in, they're showing me not like nebulous information, it's more of like information that you can really plug in and apply. It's like, I don't want these abstract theories, and maybe that's why you're like confused about the guidance that you've been receiving, but it's like wanting to be able to like make sense of like, how do I practically apply these spiritual principles, how do I apply these philosophies that I've been absorbing. Next to this shell that I see as like a holy stone in a way, but because it has a bunch of like tubes running through it. But the shell, I see it as like someone trying to like poke holes in a story or in a situation to see through deception or find the truth. So it's like you're really figuring out and sorting through and parsing through like what information that you've been carrying, what stories that you've been telling yourself that are no longer relevant to your life. And with the dogma shell here turned over, this is like a blank slate, like a new, like you're no longer being controlled by these dogmas. And this is what's helping you to inherit this spiritual wisdom that is around the sacred circle, which is like your life. As well, we have the stick here, which is coming through just on the other side of the intuition, saying that acting based on your intuition is really going to help you take the steps that you need to take in your life right now, helping you to draw in this wisdom. I want to start pulling cards. Oh, and I almost didn't mention, this light is over here, kind of outside of the conscious awareness. So it's like the ego is maybe outside of this process that is happening within the conscious awareness. It's like the ego has kind of taken a step back, step to the side. So you have here the ancestor of hope and the spirit of wisdom. So yes, definitely doing ancestor work is really going to help you to increase your sense of perseverance at this time. What you feel is possible and an opportunity for yourself with the P and the B. Helping you to kind of push forward with that horse symbolism as well. And I also feel like this is about like domesticating yourself in some way. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like I'm seeing like on the strength card when we're talking about like domesticating the kind of impulses of ourselves that are potentially like running wild. And I'm all for rewilding, so don't get me wrong here, but this is about like when we are almost like spiraling out of control in some aspect, or allowing some unconscious behavior pattern to make us make decisions where we aren't doing it from a place of like self-control, self-discipline. So this ancestor energy that you have with you is like wanting to help you learn to work with others, to cultivate hope, to bring hope to places where people have been feeling hopeless. There's a text post that's kind of like popular, I guess, that says like hope is not like an innocent child hope. I'm totally paraphrasing this wrong, by the way, but hope is like has scrapes on their knees and bruises on their face and gets up anyway. It's something like that. So it's like I'm just seeing that with the coloring and the patterning on the Ancestor of Hope card. It's something about like falling down 7 times and getting back up 8. The spirit of wisdom here too is showing that again, just mirroring and echoing what I was talking about here with the guides, these like kind of ancient guides of wisdom, even your own past life understandings and wisdoms. And holy awesome, I just looked up and there's a leaf on the plant in front of me because I'm sitting like in my garden area, and it has a hole in it that's like a perfect heart shape. That's awesome. And that's awesome. I said holy too, and it's a whole. Okay, but spirit is giving you these like abstract kind of like seemingly meaningless signs and symbols that like you can apply the meaning to and feel into. What does this represent for me? What is this omen? And learning how to discern what it is, because essentially every symbol, every sign, every card that you get is a neutral sign. We bring in the cultural connotations of what something means. And essentially the like basis of wisdom is being able to, regardless of a cultural belief, regardless of a cultural practice, be able to find some sense of truth, some sense of survival, some sense of understanding and universal application, like outside of any cultural origin or basis. Let's see, is there anything else you want to say to group 2, Spirit? One card. Shaman of Purification. This is you. What you're doing right now is you're purging a lot of stuff, not only for your ancestry, but also for the people around you. And that's why Spirit was talking about boundaries at the very beginning. It's really important for you to be purifying the relationships in your life right now. To be, setting firmer boundaries with people who are not equipped to blend into or weave into the energy that you are trying to embody. Or like straight up just taking a step back or distancing yourself entirely from certain relationships that just don't feel like they are mutually beneficial. Because sometimes we can benefit personally from a relationship, but maybe it's, because of our awareness, we can see that the other person isn't benefiting, or maybe it's vice versa, like the other person seems to be benefiting but we are not benefiting. So, and not to say, like, I was just talking to somebody about this, it's definitely not about the transactional aspect of a relationship, but it's more of like, are we both mutually invested in the same ways? And that can be with family, with friends, all sorts of different things. So let's see if the Fae have any messages for you, and I was hoping for 2 cards, so this is perfect. You have the Numina, seek inspiration in twilight wanderings. So Numina makes me think of that numinous. I think I might have said that earlier in this group, but if I didn't, that's okay. The numinous, the unknown, the unformed, like what I was talking about with this, I think. Letting yourself not understand certain things, not put a label on things right now in a lot of areas of your life, allowing things to kind of be in this in-between stage, as you're like kind of going in between this like non-ego shadow realm. I'm definitely thinking of like Carl Jung's work with you right now, so definitely if you're like drawn to reading his work, I think that he's like the best, if not like one of the best psychology resources that we have in the modern era, and especially for like all sorts of different things like art therapy, symbolic analysis. Like, he's a shaman more than he was a psychologist, in my opinion. So definitely look into that if that is something that draws you. And we have here the Mandragora Mother. Okay, so I see there's like a mandrake root there. And Dragora makes me think of like the dragons. There's also like angels' trumpets. There's a lot of like foliage. And these are kind of like somewhat poisonous, but also, if you know how to use them, really helpful and medicinal and like even aphrodisiac like herbs. Or even intoxicating type of herbs, like things that bring you into ecstasy. The Mandragora Mother. Find the secrets hidden in the brambles. The point of mothering, what your guides are saying, or what the guides are saying for this reading, the point of mothering is to actually let something go and let something be on its own. So there may be something here about like working with a dark mother goddess, or working with this mother energy where it's like forcing you into more independence, or like not relying on others to do things for you. I don't know how that message is coming about. Maybe it's like we're separating from codependency as well, in relationships. Maybe that's part of the boundaries. Find the secrets hidden in the brambles. This is about being fearless enough to look into the like more negative aspects of relationship, of connection, especially since the mother is like a familial title or like a relational title. And this is about like being fearless to do so and to like confront the ways that we are interrelated and that we can't parse out like a separate self from these like interrelated aspects, especially with the ego being pushed aside. I'm going to get 2 more cards and then close out. Okay, and then you got the Mandrake spirit. So definitely Mandrake is important for you. Maybe looking into the symbolism or how it's used. Maybe it has some connection to your ancestry. Keep yourself rooted in the earth. Spring is coming. Dream deep. So while you're in this period of purification, while you're in this period of like self-exploration, take the time to, again, like the Numina says, seek inspiration in twilight wanderings. Go deep into these understandings and be okay with not knowing what things might mean fully. And also pay attention to your dreams as well. And we have here finally to the Greenwood. Seek comfort and acceptance. Be kind to yourself. Yeah, and even like this beautiful bee being the center, it's like you're inheriting a lot of wisdom right now. You're opening up to a different view of reality. And so it's important for you to like also tend to yourself and to like have those experiences where you don't feel like you're only striving, where you're seeking out that support, like the mother, where you're being able to become a mother in some ways too. For some of you, that may be like a literal thing where you're looking to like expand your family, expand your life. And as well, I'm hearing for some of you, stop unnecessarily mothering other people who you have no obligation to be. To the Greenwood, seek comfort and acceptance. Be kind to yourself. Yeah, spend that time, some of that care, some of that energy that you've been spending on others, turn it inward for a little bit. Or not even just inward, but like tending to the things that are going to feed you back. And I just looked at the hibiscus bush that I have in the yard, so maybe using hibiscus might be helpful to not only help ground you, but also open up the heart space. And if you don't have access to hibiscus where you are, rose is a really good alternative. So that is all I am seeing for you, my lovely group 2. Thank you so very much for being here. If you are interested in working with me personally, I would love to connect with you, and I have the way to order a personal reading on my website in the description box below. Otherwise, I want to thank every being in the universe that brought us into this beautiful space together today and brought through these amazing messages for you. I just saw a dove flying by. So thank you to you and to all these different beings, and I will see you next time. Bye. Greetings, group 3. Thanks for being here. This is your bone casting reading if you selected the gold sheen obsidian egg. I'm just going to leave this right up here to crown the reading. Now for your group, I'm feeling like a lot of different energy compared to the other 2 groups. So I don't know if you feel like somewhat of an outcast, or maybe you kind of identify with that like hermited type of energy, or you've just always been a little alternative. Whatever the case, I'm just feeling like there's a lot of energy here for this group around standing out, being unique, even traveling, movement. So, and I was also seeing a woman in a red dress, and the guides told me I needed to mention that because it's going to be for someone. So I don't know if this is a deity that you work with, or if this is maybe like you just bought a red dress or something, but definitely there's like a woman in a red dress. And for some of you, this is representing Durga, who would be like the demon slayer. So also maybe wearing red can help you to empower yourself at this time. But let's see. So this reading, as I said in the intro, is going to be a bone casting, or bone casting style, my own twist on it. So I just want you to get into a place where you can receive, be open to the messages and interpreting the messages for yourself. So I just want you to breathe in deep. Imagine yourself being grounded into the earth. Call in any guides who you feel may help you to cleanse your energy, to release anything that you're holding on to that does not need to come into this reading. And I'm going to do this a little differently than the others. So, and the key stayed all the way over here. But since it's kind of out of the realm that I wanted to read in, I'm going to, I'll leave it here, kind of where it was. Okay. Right away, I'm noticing that in the center of your reading, which is where the conscious awareness is, we have the hematite heart inside of the sun shell, or the shell that I have associated with the sun, with this sacred circle and the entity of fear kind of emerging out of this circle. But it's interesting that the heart has kind of been omitted from this circle. So I don't know if there's like a ritual that you were participating in where it felt like something may have happened, where you just felt a sense of fear. But your guides are saying that they want to help you to learn how to discern between fear-based entities and be able to cleanse and clear these energies. Because it's interesting, I didn't ask any of the other groups to cleanse or leave anything out of the reading that they didn't want to come in. I've actually never said that to anyone. So there may be a sense of like learning how to do a house cleansing for yourself, learning how to do deeper cleansing rituals. Even for some of you, contemplating what you believe about cleansing, because I feel like that's a really big aspect. If we have a lot of fear-based beliefs, we may have a lot of fear-based beliefs about cleansing or like the need to cleanse. Maybe you literally just need to clean. Like that can change the energy so much. I know for me, even just like making my bed changes a lot of energy in my space, at least in my room. But yeah, it's like I would be concerned about this, but the fact is that there is the faith angel like kind of entering the circle as well. So it's like whatever your magical practice is, there is a sense of support and guidance coming through your own faith in these forces that, or not even forces, your faith in these like spiritual aspects that can come to balance these experiences of worry, of concern, of anger even. Because I'm not one to believe in a hierarchy of emotion or a hierarchy of experience. In my beliefs, everything is what it is, and it serves its function, it serves its purpose. It's just certain functions and certain purposes we prefer over others, and we may want to cultivate more of versus giving ourselves boundaries against. And that's just kind of how it works. Fear is always like, it's like a living entity. It like informs us about certain things in our life. And for the fear entity to be in that inner circle, it's like you've accepted in some fear, and it's like you're ready to like learn what it's been telling you so that it doesn't have to be at the center of your circle. With the love in the sun thing, the sun shell, it's like you're illuminating your love deeper, and you're wanting to move towards this understanding of love, because love is the only thing that can really neutralize fear. If we're, afraid of our mortality, that's like one of the most basic fears that a human can have, regardless of when and where we live or how we live. If you're afraid of your mortality, the only way you can remedy that is by finding more love in your life, right? Like connecting with others, connecting with plants and animals and trees and, well, I guess trees are plants, but you know what I mean. Connecting with these things that express to us love in these really unconditional forms. Even honoring and having gratitude for ourselves. You have here the turtle, which is upside down and kind of just outside of the circle. So I don't know if there's like something that's happened to a pet of yours. Because I'm feeling like this is a literal like animal being kind of knocked off kilter. So definitely like spend more time with your pets, or spend more time on your pets is like a message that's coming through if you have pets. If it's not about pets, I would recommend like maybe making a donation to some type of animal rescue, or even like saying a prayer. If you don't have like money to spend, that's okay. Like saying a prayer to help with like an endangered species, or calling on an animal spirit that you want to work with. It just feels like this, whatever's been happening in your magic practice has like affected the way that you're connecting with animals in some way. Down here, we have in the more subconscious, the more rooted realm, the iron nail and the dog tooth and the bee charm. This is like your community. Again, like being more aware of not being alone is going to help you to get grounded in your conscious awareness. The iron nail is for protection, and with the dog tooth is about loyalty. It's about aggression as well. So it may be that there's an aggressive need for protection. If you need advice on how to perform protection rituals, or how to look into what you might believe about protection and cleansing, there's great resources on YouTube, of course, but I'll give you a little bit of advice. I'd say salt is a really good, just universal cleanser, like physically and spiritually. So if you can find some like salt pieces and put them in the windows, or even just sprinkling salt across the threshold of certain places like windows and doors, that can help if you want to like protect your home. But always make sure to cleanse it first. And the way you can cleanse is, using different sacred smokes, as well as like noises, clapping, things like that. The fear entity is right next to the wand of willpower. So it's like your personal willpower may be affected, or the way that you're using your magic. So for some of you, I'm thinking, or they're showing me like thinking negative thoughts, or like putting curses on yourself, essentially, like through the fear-based thoughts, or like even letting your mind run in loops that aren't your own. Here it's next to the moon shell, which is next to the inheritance stone, the shadow stone, and the dogma shell. The more that you adopt other people's beliefs, the more that you will be adopting their karmas, their truths. And while that can be helpful, if you find a dogmatic system that you resonate with, it can also be harmful, because it can install certain superstitions to you as well. Which is funny as I'm talking about like cleansing methods and beliefs. It's really important that you get clear on what your shadow is trying to teach you about dogma. And for some of you, this has to do with like Christianity and like religious upbringings around your own personal willpower, around your own abilities. So I'm thinking about, I was doing some research on deity work the other day, and I forget where I was encountering this information, so I'm sorry, but it was talking about how Christianity in particular drives people into a belief that they must go to a deity outside themselves for power, and the power is not an innate or inherent quality. And this is why the inheritance and the moon and the shadow and the dogma are all over here with the personal willpower, because it's like you're trying to figure out how you can blow the lid off of these things. Yeah, how you can literally like understand the ways that you've been given power as a human. Maybe it's a limited power, but it is some type of power. And I'm being drawn to a tea tree plant in my yard too, so maybe using tea tree will be helpful. And tea tree is a good cleanser, like literally, like for the scalp, for the skin, even internally as well. You know, always look into things before you ingest them or use them. But yes. Okay, we're gonna move over here. This one is about truth and deception, this shell. And it's next to the sun shell. Maybe there's been something about like ego-based beliefs around love, or like especially romantic love, that you're like trying to poke holes in those stories, trying to get something to kind of give, be a little more flexible, be a little bit less rigid. With the coin and the safety pin too, this is like helping you find a better security, a better grounding, a better stability. And kind of offer this up in service. So today, I was particularly like not having a bad day, just feeling a little down. And I remembered, like, if you're feeling down, like, go help someone. And that's why I decided to sit and do this reading. And so that may be a message for you as well. Like, if you're feeling bad, like, get some movement in. Like, go and do something. Offer yourself. Volunteer. Even if you can't find, like, a job. Or even if your work is asking a lot of you, like, give from a place of wanting to give rather than needing to. Because sometimes when we're paid, it becomes an obligation too. It's like not something that we're giving freely anymore. And it can take away from that passion. You have this swirl shell, which I see as like representing new beginnings and growth. Over here to the west. So like an emotional growth, a desire for emotional growth that seems minimal or minuscule right now. But it is growing, and the faith is the thing that's important to keep that. The key over here in the east is talking about opportunities through meditation, through intentional time taken for self-reflection, meditative absorption, insight, spiritual practice, veneration, gratitude. Up here in the top, we have the light stone, the peach pit, which is for the elders, and the pine cone, which is for the descendants. Lift up your concerns for the world. If you feel like you've been burdened, or you're worried about how things might manifest, how things will work, give them up to a higher power, to an intelligent force. Maybe it's not a higher power, maybe it's a lower power, a power of the earth. an older power. Let's see what your cards want to say. What does group 3 need to know, Spirit? Dancer of frustration. There is a lot of anger and frustration and feeling blocked in this group. This card came out in a past group, so I'm gonna, if it wants to come out again, we'll see. Yeah, cleansing again just keeps coming up. Like not taking on other people's stuff. Even the ancients passed their stuff down to us through dogma, you know. Dancer of promise. So you have 2 dancers up here. So this is about movement, about action and committing, and also like ritualistic action that can become repeated, can be a sequence of events. Dancer of promise is showing that when we say we're going to do something, maybe this is about the obligation thing again, that we actually follow through, and that we commit to understanding why or how something can be carried out, and that we push past the frustration through the commitment to the promise. That we also have faith that when we make contracts, when we make agreements with ourselves, with others, with spirit, that these will be fulfilled in some way, whether it be through debt, through forgiveness, through repairing something. Down here in the base we have the ancestor of protection next to the nail of protection. So if there have been any aggressive situations between you and other people, or aggressive feelings or spiritual encounters, this is saying that you do have an ancestor of protection, and actually multiple that are on your side. And I'm seeing these as like tigers and bears. It's like lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. And these may be actual like animal guides that you want to support. And again, the word venerate is coming through. So, and didn't I say something about Durga? Durga rides a tiger or a lion. I also just posted a short where Inanna came through. It's a black and white short video, so if you want to find it, it's only a minute long. She may be calling out to you as well. Inanna I see as being very connected to Durga. They're both ancient deities and fierce protectors, and they teach us about the power of the sun, the power of the rational mind, the ego mind. Finally, you have Shaman of Foresight. This is about being prepared for things before they happen. About being able to receive messages from Spirit and to anticipate routines, rituals, practices that are going to be good for us in the long term, not just for right now. What the Fae want to say to you, the gatekeeper, let go. All things are possible on the borderlands. Okay, for some of you, this is about travel, like I was saying. And of course, as I'm saying this, that's when the planes are going over. So this may be literal travel that you're being called into, going to the edges, the outskirts. But for others of you, this is like accepting the marginalized aspect of yourself, the alternative aspect of yourself, and letting go of trying to fit in or wanting to be quote unquote normal, and committing to these commitments that you personally want to make. With the Seed Spells card, it says, create your story. It is the most potent form of magic. It's important for you to just start getting out there and being creative, sharing what needs to be shared, giving others the awareness of your experiences so that you may either receive support or also show others that, you know, life is complicated. Okay, we have 2 last messages, the Honey Mother and the Green Maid and the Mandrake Spirit. So I'm going to start with the Green Maid. The Green Fae speak to you. Let them guide you to safety. Spending time with nature, in nature, around nature, going to help you feel the sense of safety to share, safety to be not at the center point, to potentially go without, to create. The Honey Mother, sometimes the greatest magic lies in the smallest of forms. You're never alone. You always have support around you. There are other things nurturing you, and I feel like they need your respect and acknowledgement to lift up your cares. Mandrake Spirit, keep yourself rooted in the earth. Spring is coming. Dream deep. Keep yourself rooted in the earth. This is knowing that you have everything you need. Be content. I have a thing in my bathroom that says, be content, not everyone gets what they want. Sometimes that's a good thing. Most of the time, actually, it is. Mandrake is used as an aphrodisiac. This is about cultivating more love, which is at the center of your reading. Thank you so much, Group 3, for being here. And if you made it this far, thank you. I want to invite you, if you feel called, to connect with me personally for a reading. I have that at the website in the description. I want to thank every other spiritual being that came forward and supported this reading. And I'm so grateful to you for being here as well. I will see you in another video, my friend.